Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last match of the entire NASL Season 2 group stages. This is going to be Fnatic inside TT1 going up against Team Liquid's TLO. Fnatic and Team Liquid yet again meeting off. And this map is going to be Tal Darim Altar Orb. How you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. A last match of the season, as you said. You know what that means? It means the finals are coming right up. Should be so exciting. I cannot wait. It looks like we're going to be on Tal Darim Altar in this PvT. And look at the spawns right away. It looks like we might have a slight advantage going to TLO right from the start.
Here we do see that in the bottom left-hand corner of this, we have TLO. Well, you guys will be able to see it pretty soon. Wait for it. And there we go. Bottom left-hand corner, we have TLO as the blue Terran. Bottom right-hand corner, we have Fnatic TT1 as the yellow Protoss. So we do have the clockwise position going to TLO. It favors him on Tal Darim Altar. Why don't you explain to us why that is?
Surely, it is actually due to a number of reasons. One of the biggest reasons, of course, the area below the natural of TT1 will allow TLO to come forward with infantry and a medevac to be able to pick off the Vespene Geyser. If he does go for tanks, by the way, for example, if he goes for something like a 1-1-1 play in siege mode, he can siege up that area as well. It makes it very, very difficult for a Protoss player to deal with against that cliff. Also, it actually leaves the main base of TT1 a little bit more wide open to drops, whereas, of course, if the bases were reversed, if you're having trouble figuring out what I'm talking about, you can see that he would have to go through that third base of TLO, or, you know, where TT1 would be to get in. Instead, he's going to be able to send those medevacs straight away in, not through any Zanaga towers, so it will be just a little bit easier if that is the strategy that TLO ends up going for.
Now, it's going to favor TLO for the beginning to mid-game stages. That's where he really needs to take off, but TT1, he will be expanding away from his opponent. That will help quite a bit, whereas TLO will be expanding for the most part towards. We can see that this third expansion goes towards his opponent. So as the game progresses on, TLO will be in a much tougher situation. I feel like it's going to come down to that mid-game stage where it's if TT1 can hold on, he will be an advantage. If TLO can't do enough damage, then obviously he will be losing this game.
Yeah, that early game pressure is so important, especially on a map like Tal Darim Altar, where you have these really wide choke points, these really wide ramps, so it can be a little bit difficult in the early game to defend as a Protoss player with force fields. So sometimes a lot of players like to rely a little bit more on Colossi on this map, but of course Blink Stalkers are also very popular, not only due to the way that they previously, or I believe still could blink straight into the main of the Terran player. I thought they had changed that, but I guess I was wrong. But of course, not just blinking into the main, but also being able to defend against drops from a Terran player with those Blink Stalkers. Just that added mobility can help quite a lot, since the bases are actually kind of far apart and a little bit disjointed. But whoa, Factory came up, and oh my god, is this Probe going to see it? TT1, did he see that? I gotta check the vision. Oh my gosh, he did see the Factory. I don't know if he was able to click on it and tell if it was a Factory or a Barracks. But he definitely saw it, and hopefully if he did click on it, he'll know that, wait a minute, there is going to be a 1-1-1, or we do see a second barracks on the way. It might be something like a 2-1-1, 3-1-1. A lot of players do like to do that kind of play. Very
interesting. Well, the reason why I think it's really interesting in particular is because look at the gas. There's only one SCV mining off of the gas, so it might be just a very quick reactor or something. I'm not sure, to be completely honest. Look at that, just a Hellion coming out.
Very strange play out of TLO.
So I'm a Terran. I have never seen this before. You are a Protoss. You've never seen this before. TLO,
we're in for a surprise.
Definitely one of the biggest innovators of all time.
We are definitely in for a treat here, man. I can't wait to see what this build is going to entail, how it's going to work out. He's going to throw down a third barracks now, so he's definitely staying on one base here. And there's a tech lab on his first barracks. So this is just so peculiar. I guess maybe he wants to get out a couple Hellions so he can have that extra damage against a light to be able to pick off things like sentries, etc. I like that he doesn't show the Hellion. He keeps the Marines in front, so TT1 unable to actually get that information. TT1, meanwhile, I don't think he actually saw that Factory, because if he had seen it, I would have expected the Robo to go down after that first gateway. Instead, he's gone up to 3 gateways now. So, but it looks like he might be waiting to throw on that Robo right afterwards. So should be fine. But if you can't get that scouting information and pretty quickly, oh my god, no, it's a 4th gateway. And he's waiting to get another one. Is he going to go for a, is that just a pylon, or is he going to get another gateway, man? It could be a 5-gate. No, okay. All right.
You just got pump faked, man.
I got pump faked indeed.
But nevertheless, going up to 4 gateways, now we've seen this not be too successful previous to this. Think back all the way to Inca versus Strelok, where Inca did the same type of thing. He went 4 gateways, and, you know, Banshees came in and really destroyed him. Now, this time around, he's not going up against Banshee. I feel like TT1 will have a better chance at stopping this incoming pressure. It's all going to come down to Micro, though, at this very precarious situation.
Yeah, it's weird. He's going for this Marauder Hellion style of unit composition, which is much more common in TVZ than in TVP. But I feel like this would be so much more effective if he had actually kept just, you know, all 3 units in gas. You don't have to get a second gas, but kept all 3 SCVs in gas and had actually gotten Blue Flame. That would have helped out so much that Blue Flame could help him against Sentries and Zealots so easily. But, you know, TT1 only has 6 Stalkers here in 1 Sentry, and there's 2 bunkers already going down for TLO. I don't know if he's going to have enough to deal with this. Looks like he's going to target down 1 bunker. It doesn't quite go down, though. Here's the engagement. TLO picks off that Sentry immediately. No more Guardian Shield is going to be in this fight. The probes are coming out to try to help engage, but it looks like TLO's losing a couple forces. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. It looks like TT1 is going to be able to hold this off for now.
Yeah, this is a very successful defense. He is able to take out both the SCVs that were making both of those bunkers. Bunker needs to be canceled. It was not canceled, so he does lose 100 minerals from that, and it looks like TLO is in a position where he cannot stop with this engagement. He has to keep going. He's invested way too much. We can see the supplies are actually in favor of TLO, but with this rising Stalker count, Stalkers are great ways to defend against this. All he has to do is warp in additional Zealots, and then he will be having the best army to defend anything that comes his way.
Yeah, I think TT1 might be making a slight mistake here, though. I think he's just a little bit overconfident because he's actually been throwing down all his chrono now into both his nexuses, double producing probes, double chronoing them as well. And I feel like maybe, well, I guess he just doesn't realize that TLO is still on 1 base. If he did realize that, you'd assume that he would just throw that all on those gateways and try to get as many units as possible to defend. Whoa, that's a lot of SCVs coming out from TLO for this attack. It looks like 13 SCVs. And he's still rallying units, more SCVs even coming out here, so he's just going completely all in with this attack. Only has 5 SCVs, still on minerals, or 6.
I still think TT1 is going to be fine. He can just use his own probes as soon as he needs to target down those Hellions. But here we go, the engagement has started. It looks like Zealots are going to start it up on first, and here comes those SCVs, but they do not do good damage against those Zealots. Now finally engaging in here. The probes are coming offline, and the Warpins are just non-stop. Is he going to be able to do this? The Hellions are getting good shots on all those probes, but the Stalker fire is just way too much. And look at that. TT1 is clearing it up very nicely.
Yeah, I think TLO needed some better target firing there. His Marauders absolutely definitely needed to be attacking those Stalkers the entire fight. They were attacking the Zealots. He should have had of course, the Hellions on the Zealots and the Marauders on the Stalkers. And now he's going for some probe kills in the main, but I mean, you're too far behind at this stage to go for the probe kills and try to win an economic war. It's 2 base versus 1 base. I mean, he has taken out a lot of probes in that engagement, so it's 12 SCVs to 19 probes right now, but that still leaves TT1 in the lead, and he still has these 2 Nexuses left that he can just double chrono, both Nexuses making a ton of probes. So it really doesn't look like TLO is going to have much of a chance in this game.
And look at that. Look at the supply, or not the supply, but the production of TLO. He just cannot produce from all this. We can see that just moving up here into those Marauders. TT1 is just going to go straight for the jugular with these 7 Stalkers. Does he have enough to save him from the counterattack, though? It looks like 3 Hellions are coming up here. 3 Hellions are enough to kill a lot of probes, but there's already 1 Stalker out here, and 1 Stalker does chase away that the 3 Hellions over here.
Now it looks like TT1's going for the attack, target firing down both of those Marauders very quickly. The bunker's on the way, but probably won't be allowed to be completed. All the SCVs have now died that came to defend, and there's the GG.
You know, and time again, we see these really interesting builds coming out from TLO. I feel like that was a really cool build against a very standard protest, but I don't know how TT1 was able to see it. But he went 4 gateways instead of throwing down that 1 robo, and a lot of times we see 3-gate robo after an expansion is taken off of 1 gas, and then you get your 2nd gas immediately after. We didn't see that at all, and I feel like if TT1 did go that way, TLO would have had the most perfect timing attack.
You know what I think might have happened? This is just a bit of a guess, but I did not see the selection circle around that factory when TT1 had the probe in that base, so I don't think he noticed. I think he thought it was a 2-rack. So I think that's why he went 4-gate. He knew his opponent, well, 4-gate after expanding, excuse me, but I think he thought his opponent was going for the 2 racks, and thus he just went for the 1-gate expand into 4 gateways so he could be absolutely safe. So how unfortunate is that for TLO, man? If he had seen that factory, he absolutely would have gotten the robo.
TLO was probably doing the mind games right there. He was probably, well, you know I got the factory. because of that, I'm going to switch it around and do this early game pressure. You're not aware of it. You're thinking, okay, Banshees might be coming. I have to prepare for that, maybe even a Raven. But of course, it was going to be Marine Marauder Hellion pressure. And all of a sudden, you have a lot of Stalkers, TT1. Why do you have that many Stalkers? It all makes sense now. I would love to ask TT1 about that, but hopefully we will be able to. We'll see in game number 2 if TT1 can really close out the season with a win, or if TLO can come back. The game number 2 coming your way after this break.